Well, the property has been something we've been eyeballing for many years. We've actually made several offers on the property from time to time, but the owner at the time was not willing to entertain the low cost in which we were willing to pay for the property. But we thought it was an ideal location for a town park, based on the fact that it is adjacent to our new community center, and we would have that access, and to have basically a community park and ball fields and a community center lodged between Old Chi-Li Scottsville Road and Archer Road. It's a long stretch to have just a nice community center, if you will. So when the property owner finally came to us and said, well, we can talk. You know, they were at a point where it was just costing them money to hold on to the property. They weren't going to develop it. They had no interest in developing it anymore. So we were able to come to terms on the cost of the property, and did end up purchasing it. Again, we were looking at the future with the new community center and the tie-in and how this could all work. The vision right from the get-go was to establish a park that was unlike most other parks we have in the town of Chi-Li. A lot of our parks are used largely by a lot of sports groups. It's very hard that if mom and dad want to go out to the ball field and kick a ball around, or toss a football, or play kickball, or the neighborhood wants to go out and play a game of flag football or something. It's just that opportunity doesn't exist for the most part, because the sports groups that are here in Chi-Li are large, and they tend to overtake basically the fields. And a lot of our parks were designed for Chi-Li soccer, Chi-Li football, Chi-Li baseball. They were designed specifically for their use. So we didn't have anything. We didn't have that family type park, and that's what I wanted. That's really what I wanted to have, was a family park. Well, again, being more family oriented, we're looking at here is some walking paths, perhaps some bicycling paths. It's a 48-acre parcel, so it's not small. It's not huge, but it can accommodate a lot of different uses. We'd like to put in an amphitheater so that we could have summer concerts and summer movies and things like that in the park. We'd like to have some lodges, open air and enclosed lodges. We see the opportunity for revenue, of course, through the rental of lodges. We do have one up in North Chi-Li now, or West Chi-Li, I should say. But there's definitely a demand for those type of things for rental for the community. Skate parks are real popular with the kids. We'd like to be able to have a skate park in here. A dog park, very, very high demand. A lot of people showing an interest in having a dog park, which right now is the design of that. That includes a pond, so part of a pond where the dogs could go in and jump in and swim around and have some fun, and and a community garden, which I've had a lot of people express an interest in having a community garden where people could, and we don't know the logistics of whether there'd be any fee-based or anything. We don't really know how that'll work yet, but to have space where somebody can come and bring their kids, or maybe the schools want to bring a school group over and have a garden space where they can plant lettuce and radishes and tomatoes and beans or whatever. But because this was old farmland, the soils are ideal for doing something like that, or starting something like that here. So community garden is one of the things that's added into there. We would like to also have space to do ice skating, create in the wintertime an ice skating rink. Tennis courts, tennis/pickleball courts, things like that. One multi-purpose large field, which would be like a soccer field or a football field, and then one baseball field, again, which could be used for kickball or softball or baseball, whichever. And again, there's some walking trails and things like that throughout the woods. We'd cut in some trails, some extra parking, things like that. And I think that's essentially most of the amenities that we're looking at in this particular park. We put out One of the questions in a survey that we did earlier this year asked if you were going to name the park, what would you think an ideal name would be for the park? And there was a lot of different suggestions. And this one, and it was only one person that suggested it, I don't know who it was, but suggested Milkhouse Park, because this was Zuber's dairy operation. There used to be a milk house pretty much on Archer Road that we actually dismantled, or I should say we had dismantled. One of our members of our historic preservation board jumped in, and he does this kind of stuff, so they dismantled it piece by piece, and we are going to reassemble it on site as a tribute to the Zubers. Have a little repair work is going to have to be done, but we plan on putting it back on. But because it was a dairy operation and had the milk house out there, that's kind of the prominence of the Zuber property there. So we kind of like that idea. It was milk house. Is it official? No. That is kind of what we're calling it at this point. Your guess is as good as mine. Right now, we're obviously still in the design stages. We've got the concept plans that we've released, let the public go through and provide us with some additional feedback. We'll finish the plans up, and then we'll have to look at resources, money. Where's the money coming from at this point to do different things? I think we will have some money left. Right now we're working under grant funds. So we got a grant for $500,000 to begin this. Part of that we used for the demolition of the barn and the house, and part of it is now being used for the engineering on the site. And whatever we have left, we'll put into doing something there. We just don't know how much is going to be left. We don't have a specific fund set aside for it, no specific commitment on dollars. We don't even know how much this is anticipated to cost at this point, because we're just not that far along. It will be phased in over time, and it's anybody's guess on how much time that'll take. If grant money pops up and we get a boatload of money coming our way, we'll advance it. If we don't, we'll have to just look at how we can get it done. They own a little piece of property just to the north, to the northwest corner here, where we're trying to work out something with them right now for that to gain that piece of property. It's just wooded, but we would like to put some additional trails through the woods into that section, and would kind of square off our property real nice. But that's the only other thing I don't think a lot of people really know about at this point. And Wegmans has always been great to us, so we're in those conversations, and we'll see where it goes.